Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a winter wonderland makeup tutorial. Something with berry rosy cheeks and a little bit of an easy smoky eyeshadow look. Just something that screams winter and Christmas and all those things. So I'm really excited to do that with you today. Before we get started with the tutorial though, I want to talk about the fact that Maskcara Beauty is now Seint Beauty. Maskcara has rebranded, has a new name, a new look, a new style. Everything is pretty much the same. The makeup is the same. A little bit of the packaging is going to be different. Some of the names of the products are different, but all the makeup that you know and love is still the same. So nothing major has changed, just a new style, and I'm totally digging it. Seint is gorgeous. Everything that they've been making is beautiful, and I'm really excited about the new brand. If you're new here and you have no idea what I'm talking about and you're not familiar with Maskcara Beauty or Seint, I will give a quick rundown on the brand and 3D foundation makeup and what it is and why it's different than the makeup you know and love and why I love it. So let's get started. Seint 3D foundation is a cream makeup product. This is what it looks like. There are these individual tins filled with makeup, and the compacts are customizable and magnetic. So every time you run out of one of your colors, you just pop it out and pop in a new one. It's very easy. See there. So beautiful. This is one of the older compact styles because I don't have any of the new Seint Beauty styles, but I'm hoping to get my hands on those soon. The makeup should all look the same though. This is all the makeup I will be using today, all in one compact. All of my makeup in this one compact, which is really neat. 3D foundation is basically highlighting and contouring made fast and easy. I feel like that's the best way to explain it. Really what we're going to be doing is applying highlight and contour to our face as our foundation. The highlight is your foundation, the contour is your foundation. It's all your foundation. They're just different shades to bring out the dimension in your face and to bring out your beautiful features and to play with light and shadow to really accentuate what you want to accentuate. Okay, let's just jump right into it, and I will do my makeup on my face and I will explain what I'm doing as I'm going so that you can understand what I'm doing. I'm going to start by applying my main highlight shade. I'm going to be using my blend brush right here. My main highlight shade is the makeup shade that's the closest to my natural skin tone. It's what you would traditionally think of as your foundation. So I'm going to start with that. I'm going to take the fluffy side of my brush, dip that into my highlight shade, which is White Peach. You need the smallest amount of this makeup. You can barely see it on my brush. You can see it a little bit there. You need way less than you would think. And it's always better to use less than you think you need at first and build up in light layers, because it's always easier to add more where you need more coverage rather than ending up with too much in one spot. If you have too much makeup, it tends to settle in your creases or slide around throughout the day, not last, wipe off, that kind of thing. You really want it to be light layers. It should be weightless. I like to dab on my color and then in circular motions like this, just buff it into the skin lightly. I'm applying my main highlight shade all along the bottom part of my face and around my nose and mouth. I'm going to be avoiding all the areas that I know I will be applying my contour and my other highlight shade because there's really no need to layer these products. It's like paint by numbers on your face. You apply each color of your 3D foundation where you want it to be, and then you just blend them all together. It sounds confusing at first because it's a little bit different than traditional methods of doing your makeup, but once you figure it out, it's like, why wasn't I doing my makeup like this the whole time? That's what you're gonna ask yourself. That's what I ask myself anyway. I'm just applying some of my highlight shade here on my forehead because I have a couple patches of melasma that I like to conceal a little bit. So I have some right there. Okay, I think we're done with the main highlight shade. Now I'm going to dip into this one right here. This is Moonlit. This is my Brightening Accent Highlight. So this is just a little bit lighter than my natural complexion. And what it's going to do is it's going to bring some brightness and some light to the center of my face. A lot of people use a lighter concealer to do this. It's the same idea. You're just really trying to brighten up the T-zone and the under eye area of your face. So I have a little bit of some darkness under my eyes, like most people. I'm going to apply my brightening highlight shade here, just lightly fluffing it on, like that. See how much brighter that is already instantly? See, look how much brighter this eye is than this eye. When you're doing your brightening highlight shade, you don't want to just cover up where your dark circles are and do a little half moon shape under your eye. That's really just going to accentuate your circles more. You want to brighten up the whole center of the face. So I usually say that you want to do a triangle, like a pie piece shape under your eye, so that the whole front of your face, the whole center is bright and beautiful. Same on the other side. Now I'm going to flip my brush around and use this smaller side of the blend brush, and I'm just going to take a little bit of that brightening shade and put some down the center of my chin, my upper lip, and then I'm going to run a little bit of that just down the center of my nose, lightly. With your brightening shade, you want to put this, if you imagine a triangle from temple to temple, down to the center of your chin and back, that's where you want all your brightening shade to be. You want the center of your face looking bright to really bring that focus and attention to the eyes, because that's what you want to show off. Everyone has pretty eyes. All right, now it's time for contouring. I think a lot of people are scared by contouring. You don't need to be. It's super easy, especially with Seint 3D foundation, because the contour and the highlight are so creamy and blendable that they blend together so seamlessly. And the shades are so beautiful that it creates the perfect shadows on your face. So I'm going to be using the shade Astoria right here. You can see it's a little bit more of an ashy brown shade, because what we're going to be doing is emphasizing the shadows that already exist on your face to really define your features. Like I said before, the contour has coverage in it, so it's a part of your foundation. It's just a little bit darker. I'm going to be using my detail brush. I really love this brush for contour. It's perfect. It has this oval shape and it has flat corners, like a flat kabuki brush. This does such a great job of precise contouring, so I really recommend this one. I'm going to dip it into my contour shade, and I'm going to start on my forehead. I like to apply this all along my forehead, all along the hairline. Really what I'm doing is, once again, bringing more of the focus towards the center of my face. You can make your forehead look a little smaller by doing this if you feel like your forehead's just a little big for your proportions. But really what you're doing is just creating a nice richness and dimension there. I'm going to take some of that contour shade and put it along my jawline, just underneath my jaw. This just really helps chisel out the jawline, blend down the chin there, erase that double chin. You already have a shadow here, so you're really just, I always talk when I'm doing that and sound silly. You're really just emphasizing that shadow that's already there. You just want to make sure, extra sure, that you blend this out. You don't want a line there. You know, you can do the double chin test to make sure that you don't see an obvious line on your face, but just adds a little bit of pretty dimension. How many times can I say dimension in one video? A lot, apparently. Okay, now for my favorite part, I'm going to contour my cheekbones. You see how flat my face looks? It's all just kind of one color. I think this is basically what traditional foundation gives you. It just gives you sort of one color all over your face, and that's not really natural. Our faces have dimension, and I really want to bring out my features. I said dimension again. I'm gonna be so annoyed every time I say it now. Okay, all right, okay. Okay, we are going to contour the cheekbones now. I have a couple tips and tricks for how to make this a little bit easier. So my first trick is to imagine an imaginary line from the top of your ear down to the corner of your mouth. You really don't want to go below that line. You want to keep your contour high on your face to really lift your cheekbones. You don't want to apply it too low into the hollow of your cheek because that'll just drag your face down and it will look unnatural. What you really want to do is make those cheekbones look lifted. So that's where we're going to start, is back towards the ear. You want to keep most of the color back towards the ear and have it get lighter as you go towards the center of your face. If you're staring forward, you don't want to bring any contour past the center of your eye, past the iris of your eye. So just keep most of it back towards the ear. So I got some contour on my brush, and I'm just going to feel where that cheekbone just starts to round under and just hug the underside of that cheekbone with my brush. I like to just sort of stipple it on first, keeping most of the color back towards my ear, like that. Looks crazy, right? Now I like to blend up to really, like I said, lift those cheekbones. It's always better to apply your contour a little bit higher than you even think, because as you blend it, it's going to drag it down a little bit. So place it higher than you think, and when you blend it, it'll be perfectly placed. See? Instant cheekbones. Now we're going to do that same thing to the other side. There we go. With contour, you want to blend it so that you don't see any lines on your face, no harsh lines. But you don't want to smear it all over and blend it all together and make it all just one color again. You want to keep that darkness where you placed it. So just blend as little as possible just to get rid of the lines, but you keep that shadow there. I'm going to contour my nose now a little bit. This is one of my favorite tricks. You can really change the shape of your nose by contouring it. I don't necessarily feel the need to change the shape of my nose. I just really like to define the shadows on my face to really make it look more defined. Definition, that's what it's all about. So I'm going to take my contour and I'm going to take my brush and just dip the very edge of it in there. And then I'm going to basically draw a line down either side of my nose here. The closer these two lines are together, the slimmer my nose will appear. I like to put this a little bit on the top of my nose and a little bit on the sides of my nose. So it's a little bit on the side, a little bit on the top there. Then I like to take the small side of my brush, get a little bit more contour, and I like to put a little bit under the tip of my nose to define the tip. Make my nose look a little bit shorter. You can kind of draw a little V like this with your contour. That looks pretty too. Then I'm going to take the last step. I'm going to take a little bit of contour here. It's my favorite little trick. I'm just going to put a little bit of that under my lip, under my bottom lip. And it just creates a shadow and makes your lips look a little bit more full and pouty. So pretty. The last step, I'm going to finish out my nose contour by taking a little bit of my Brightening highlight shade, just a tiny bit with my finger, and just drawing a super slim line down the center of my nose to really bring that brightness. There we go. Now, the last thing you want to do is blend, because you don't want to leave your nose looking like that. Like I said before, just blend as little as you can to get rid of those lines, but still keep all that hard work you just did. My favorite way to do that is actually to bounce the brush on the edges of those lines. Stipple it like that, and it blends them together without erasing what you just created. There, I am highlighted and contoured, all done. It's at this point that I like to add a little bit of setting powder to my under eye area because I tend to get a little bit of creasing right here. So I just take my powder brush, that's what I'm using here, and I'm taking a setting powder and just pressing that into the makeup to make sure that it's set. I also like that this sort of blurs any imperfections in my under eye area and makes it look really bright. Now I'm going to switch to my blush and bronzer brush, and I'm going to use this fluffy side to apply some cream bronzer. This is Bella Bronzer right here, and that's what I'm going to use. Bronzer and contour are different. The contour has a little bit more of an ashy shade to mimic a shadow on your face, and you would put those where you have natural shadows on your face. Bronzer is so much warmer and it really mimics a suntan that you would get from the sun. So you're going to want to place your bronzer where the sun would naturally hit your face. So I like to just fluff this around my forehead here, just very lightly, and the tops of my cheekbones, across the nose, a little bit on the chin. Just lightly fluff to make sure that it's all blended. I also like to add some Bella bronzer to my neck because my neck skin is just a little bit lighter than the rest of my body. And I just love how it's such a simple little trick to even everything out. Makes everything match. All right, I promised a winter wonderland look. And for me, the definition of that is rosy cheeks. Like, I want to look like I was out in the cold ice skating. That's the look I'm going for. So what I'm going to do to achieve that is I'm going to use black cherry. I haven't used this in a while, so we're going to mix it up. Black cherry looks really scary in the tin. It looks black, right? It's not. It's very sheer and buildable. So you can just do a little bit, or you can go even bolder and create a more rosy look. But it's a berry shade, but it's almost a little bit purpley. You can kind of see it there on my brush. So I'm going to take just a dot of that because it's very pigmented. And I'm just going to tap that on the apples of my cheeks. Like that. And this will just give me the rosiest cheeks. I like a strong blush. You don't have to wear as much as me. I just really love it. I really love a rosy cheek. I can't help it. All right, now I'm going to take my black cherry with my finger and I'm going to put that on my lips. I love these glossy shades for lips particularly because they're just got such a nice texture. And they're very moisturizing too, which is great for winter. The last step today is Illuminator. That's what you would traditionally think of as highlighter with other kinds of makeup. It's a shimmery product that you apply to the high points of your face to really reflect the light and show your radiant skin. I'm going to be using Angel, which as you can see is my favorite because it's almost gone. It's like a mauve-y pearly shade. I like to apply my illuminator with my finger. I just like how the warmth of my skin warms up the product and really helps it melt into the skin. You can use a brush if you'd like though. I just like tapping this on the tops of my cheekbones. You can see it just adds that radiance. Seint also has some powder illuminators. They're much more bright. I like to use those for like special occasions and things, but for every day, I just love the cream illuminators. I love how it looks like my real skin. It looks so natural. I'm taking a little bit of that and putting it on the tip of my nose to add some glow. And my other favorite place to add it is the Cupid's bow. There, the face is all done, but we still have to do the eyes. I'm going to take my line brush, which is basically just an angled brush with a spoolie on the other end, and I'm going to use Cola Contour to fill in my brows. This is Seint's darkest contour shade. It's a very dark brown shade, but it's perfect for me for my eyebrows. You can use any of the contour shades for your brows, and some of the eyeshadows are also really pretty for brows. So I'm just creating hair-like strokes in my eyebrow to fill in any bare spots, and then combing through with the spoolie. Now I'm going to use Seint's newest brow product, and it is amazing. It is the brow wax. This is what it looks like. It doesn't look like anything because it's clear, but trust me, it's there. It's a lot like soap brows, which I also love, but I love this even more because it's a lot less gunky and soapy and more of a wax. But it holds your brows in place all day and gives you a really feathery, laminated brow look. It's fantastic. So we're going to do that. I'm going to use the Seint setting spray to spray my spoolie. You can also use water for this, but I find that I get just a better hold when I use a setting spray. I'm going to take that wet spoolie and I'm just going to swirl it into the brow wax, like so. Really get it on there. Then just going to comb my brow hairs up and out. All right, brows are done, and these will not move for the rest of the day. It is amazing. This is seriously my favorite brow product that I have ever used. All right, we are going to do a really easy smoky eye. Really, really simple. I'm going to try to make this as easy as I can. I'm going to start with my base of Bird and Unicorn, which I do almost every day. I can't help it. Bird is just like a neutral taupe matte shadow. Using my eyeshadow brush, and I'm using the fluffy side. I'm just going to take Bird, and I'm going to lightly dust that in the crease of my eye. I really like to do this with my eye partially open so I can see where I'm placing it to make sure I see it, but it just adds a lot of depth to the eye and really brings out the shape. Now I'm going to take that Bird shade on the same brush, and I'm just going to put this lightly under the eye. A trick that I like to do for my under eye, my lower lash line, is I like to squint, and I have this like natural eye bag right here, this wrinkle. That's how far down I bring the shadow. A light shadow like this really, I think it looks pretty like that. Some people are afraid to add shadow to their lower lash line, so you don't have to. It's optional, but I really like the look of it. Okay. Now I'm going to flip the brush around and use the smaller smudgy side, and I'm going to dip into this shade right here. This is Unicorn. It's a shimmery white shade. If this is a little bit too light, too icy for your skin tone, you could use Sabrina for this. You could also use one of the powder Illuminators, anything with a light shimmer to it. You could even use Cupcake, which is a matte light shade. You don't need to use something with shimmer, just something light to really highlight the brow bone. I also like to add some of this light color to my inner corners to add some brightness to the center of my face. Now, I'm actually going to take this shade right here, which is Black Friday Cream Eyeliner. This is an eyeliner, so it's a cream consistency and it's very pigmented. It's black, but I'm going to use it kind of like an eyeshadow. Oh, being innovative. I'm going to use the smudgy side of my brush, this little precise end, and I'm going to dip that right in that eyeliner shade just lightly. And I'm just going to put that all along the lash line, all over the lid actually, just closest to the lash line. Just add some darkness. And since it's the cream eyeliner, it will also help this look last a long time. Now I'm going to switch to my blend brush, different brush, and I'm going to use Trust eyeshadow, which is this one. It's a cool tone dark brown matte. And I'm going to just apply that all over the lid. So I'm just going to take that and put it on top of that Black Friday that I just did. And then stop when I get to the crease. Boom, smoky eye. Now I'm just going to switch to my eyeshadow brush, this fluffy side right here, and I'm just going to fluff that into the crease of my eye, making sure that those shadows blended together nicely. And that's it. Just a really easy smoky eye look. And I really love the rosy cheeks. This is my Winter Wonderland makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed this today. I know this is a little bit of a longer video, but I really was excited to also talk about Seint Beauty and the new transition to the new brand. If you have any questions, you can let me know down below. You can message me. You can also, if you are interested in getting a color match, to have me give you some personal recommendations on which shades of 3D foundation I think would suit your individual skin tone. The link to my color match form is down in the description box down below, and I will message you with some recommendations. But I hope everybody is having a great holiday season so far, and happy holidays. Bye.